That's what you need to remember. Interestingly enough, this is also how I teach how to draw the hand, is do it in sections like the body and then the fingers are drawn separately. It's amazing how much of a help that is to my. So what we're going to be seeing everything up except for the skull, and there's a reason why. The skull's kind of tricky to do and make. It doesn't matter how professional you are. The skull is something that you really have to take your time on. The, the good thing that you're going to hear from me is that we don't have to do it right now. We can even finish this up, bake it, paint it, get it all ready and beautiful, and still be working on the skull. We can even start on the muscles and not have the skull done. That gives us a little extra time to just keep working that skull until you get it right. Okay, so first things first, get your jelly out and put it on everything that we're going to be doing. The hands, the forearms, the hands, forearms, radius, and the ulna in this case. We're going to be putting scapulas on here, and these are they're pretty tricky. So I'm hoping all goes well today because the scapulas are challenging, especially at this scale, and especially since we want them to look like they're kind of floating. Okay, as usual, I need to get my handy dandy cleaning device and try to clean my fingers. You also notice that I brought in my paint again because we're going to be doing the same thing we did with the little foot. We're going to be doing with the hand, the right hand. Okay, now, just to remind you, what we did is we took a little tiny bit of this watercolor, remember cadmium red light, and we went over the toes, and we're going to be doing the same thing with the fingers. I want to bring a little bit more of this back in since I have it out. I had it in my art box, so now it's out, and I'm just going to push this around again, just to get us used to what we're going to be doing, reminding you of what we did already. There, like that, and that looks good. There. Really push that. And then that way I can match the hand. So I want to make sure that this is finished. Plus, the other thing I'm doing, everybody, and you can do the same, is kind of cleaning up the toes a little bit if they look a little rough. There, that looks really good. Well, let's do it. The radius and the ulna on the right side is going to be done the way we did the tibia and the fibula. Just to remind you, we combined the tibia and the fibula right over here. Remember that? Over here, we have a separate tibia and fibula. So over here, we have a separate radius and ulna. So it's going to match. What we do with the leg, we're going to do with the arm. Okay, that being said, let's go ahead and start. The ulna includes your olecranon, which is the fancy anatomy way of saying elbow. So what I'm going to do is just basically put like a big clump of clay here. Yeah, this is going to represent both the radius and the ulna. Like that. Do you see it? I just don't want you to think I'm doing anything fancy. It's really kind of clunky at first. What I'm doing here on this back side is making sure that you see that I'm blending it all together. I always try to use a little bit more clay than I need because that way I can reduce it down a little bit rather than trying to build it up. Sometimes I go back and forth. Sometimes I start with just little pieces. In this case, I wanted to start with one big clump. I'm also keeping in mind that I want a nice big elbow here. Okay, radius and the ulna create kind of like this nice plank. And I'm going to rotate this around so you can see it from different points of view. Trying to keep this somewhat rectangular. And there's definitely more clay here than we need. So what I want to do is I want to just cut some of this off. Right along here. This side doesn't have to be quite as neat, as you can see. but it has to represent two bones, so it's a little wider. The radius and ulna really have like a big space in between it right here, but we don't need to do that with this. So when I look at the back side, I want to make sure I still have an elbow and also an edge here because the ulna has an edge. You can feel that on your own. There's a little edge in there, a crest. It's only the crest is only really on the bone. When you look at a living person, it's actually a furrow, but that's my ulna right in here. You see that? Right in there. Separates the flexors from the extensors. This is the elbow. Trying to keep these somewhat neat, but not too neat. About like that. I always think of kind of like the Rodin version of an crochet. Is about all you need. Nice and rough. It's still really stable and beautiful. So that's what I have here. I feel. And it looks pretty good. See this ridge right here that I'm trying to create? Right along from the elbow to where the pinky finger area would be. Okay, that's what that looks like. Now what I want to do is I want to create the actual hand. Remember to match the foot? You have a foot down below that's real, fleshed out skin over it, little veins. Now what we're going to try to do is we're going to try to replicate that. We're going to try to make sure that the toes look good and the fingers look good.
This is anybody.
So this is the way we do it. First, we start with like the body of the hand. Okay, so when I say body, I mean like this part without the fingers. Got it? So knowing that, watch. Remember, we already put Vaseline in here, petroleum jelly. And trying to stay out of your way, but it's not always easy because my fingers are big, my hands are big, and this guy's hands are really tiny. But you can kind of see that I'm doing the palm of my hand here. I'm going to put some clay behind it as well because you.
This guy's Malton Morton, and he has this weird instrument that he plays. His music is, I mean, that instrument is heavenly. So, yeah, I was like, I wanted to listen to his music um, because it's perfect. Sometimes when I go to my bedroom and I turn on the projector in the wall, I just play his YouTube videos and it's just like going to another dimension. It's really good. Let me go back to the space. That's it. Okay. Yeah, so his music is amazing. Even today, I played his nervous system reset to my senior people in the retirement center. And they just love the music I bring them because it's kind of different to what they're accustomed to hear in the lodge. Okay. This is the part that when you sculpt in real life, it gets tricky is to keep the proportions, to keep the same look. And I know that with this project, it doesn't have to be an exact replica, exact symmetry from one to side because from one side to the other because I'm gonna be putting the muscles on top, so nobody's gonna really see it. But because this is a learning project, what I want to achieve is to get an idea of what the whole thing looks like. So when I put the muscles, it makes sense, you know. And today our live stream is going to be short. I'm not going to extend myself too much because I have to pick up my kid, take him to the class, right? Um, so I didn't show up last week to Kung Fu, so today I have to show up. And I'm doing my liver cleanse. I'm in the last day, and I'm supposed to take it easy and to rest, but the schedule doesn't allow it because other people depend on me. The teacher, she got sick, and she counts on me on leading that Pee-wee class. So it's gonna be interesting, but it's like a liquid diet pretty much for this day. And this is the first time ever that I have done anything like that. So I'm excited. I'm proud of myself because I used to be so afraid of these things, of not eating, having like a liquid type of diet for a day, even fasting, something that I'm like, oh gosh. But eventually, I think I will get there if there are real benefits to it. If fasting is really beneficial, it gives you an improvement in the quality of your life and your health. Hell yeah. I'm willing to do anything. I'm not lying. I just want to feel amazing in my body. And if that requires me to do fasting, it's okay. That's the thing. Some people, they're like, oh, that whole diet thing is not true. Well, you need to try it, man. I mean, you need to give it a try because if you see the results, then you know that it works. And now you don't have excuses to have poor health. You don't have excuses to take medication and say, oh, well, I'm continuing eating the wrong things. The medication is the only thing that's keeping me from falling apart because I'm going to tell you, if it is something that the diet is influencing, the medication cannot do magic. It can only control a couple of symptoms, but it's not going to control problems that are going to continue developing around. So, and I have a good doctor. She's very friendly. She's like, okay, what do you want to do? Keep doing what you're doing because your markers are fine. Um, and I just want to prove to the medical system that there are things that patients can do that are not medication related and that they start being more attentive to health and diet. And there's plenty of doctors out there already talking about this. This is not new. There are plenty of doctors talking about that most of the problems are lifestyle related or nervous system related, like freaking out and having stress and experiencing all those things in your body creates havoc in your health. But then, when you go to the doctor, they run tests and they give you a prescription, and they don't talk about what can you do to mitigate stress in your life. What are the things that you can do, or go to somebody that can help you coaching, a life coach, somebody that can really help you to manage all these things and to improve upon it. Usually they just deliver one solution, which is I'll take a pill. That's why we are where we are. If people don't take responsibility for their health and do their homework, they're going to be dependent on external chemicals. Those chemicals are going to create havoc in other parts of the system. That's why a lot of people is like, oh, I'm taking this medication, and eventually the medication is giving them another issue, and now they have to take another medication for the problem medication started. So it's like, yeah, because we're not working with the root cause. And doctors are starting to realize that it's just that the medical system is such a big machine that it takes so long for any change to be applied. So anyway, that's my rant with that. I think our system has a purpose. Yeah, it can save your life, sure. But when it comes to prevention, don't think that the medical system has the answers. They don't focus on that. Their focus is on other things. So we are the ones that have to figure out, okay, what is healthy for me? What is a good thing that I can do to improve my health? I think it's because I'm doing all this pulling that is stretching. So it's oh, is it? It's not. So what I can do is to move this entire thing. Or actually more here. I see that. And turn. Now I yeah, drink it too much. Is that where it should be? Hello. Now it's catching up. Hmm. Yeah, I need to figure out how to get audio from the computer so I can play the music in the computer and then I can have some conversations with friends. Like, because sometimes ideas come to my mind. I'm like, oh, I need to send a message to this person. That's a great idea. Okie dokie. Oh gosh. Okay, so let's go to the next step, which is the arm.
This is clay. It's pretty sparse back here. So what I'm gonna do is try to fill this out as well.
So he's gonna do the whole thing together. So I need to apply the baseline. Vaseline baseline. Yeah, I should be. Yeah, it's weird that Vaseline is the thing that keeps the clay from sliding from their water. Weird, right? We would think that it will attach itself, but no, it's so oily that it just slides through the smooth surface of the water. I mean, it looks shorter now. I'm looking at it. Stand this. Lauren, I mean, my first drawing was right. So now I'm looking at it, it's like, oh gosh. The overall proportions of this thing is great, but nobody's gonna really touch it. Only a sculptor would notice the issues because they focus on that. Hopefully, Mr. Reyes is not care so much. He's gonna be like happy just having something in his office, right? So it, it's still facing forward. Okay. Slightly in, I would say. Put the clay on it. Where is, okay, how this touches here? That's a good question. isn't very good. The bars are, it. But when I was whispering before, I don't know if you could hear me. Um, I'm not gonna talk out loud because I need to just get it out there into the universe. This is the beginning of the Fire Horse year in the Chinese calendar. And today, the 17th, is the first day. So we have this window from 17th to the 20th to release the past and bury the old us and write down the new us. Who do we want to be and what do we want to be doing and what do we want to, whom do we want to become, right? So I have this window that I've been writing for the past days, forgiveness letters to myself and to others. And then writing the old me that I want to let go and I don't want to experience anymore, and the things that I don't like. And it's pretty much self-perception, to be honest, and the pressure inflicted by society, the things that I collected there of my old self. Part of them are trauma, Part of them are programming from my parents, transgenerational stuff, and health issues that I was like, okay, I haven't fixed these health issues, right? Quality of life in that sense. And then exploring my true potential, right? Blossoming into somebody finally after all these years of search and trying things and seeing what works, what doesn't work. Oh, I see the mistake I made here. Yeah. So I've been doing that exercise and it has been very powerful. It opened doors to a lot of sadness because you're kind of grieving the old self, but you're grieving the past, the things that couldn't be, that didn't happen, things that you wanted to get down, but you never really do. And it's closure in a sense. It is painful. It's a grief. I was grieving for sure, grieving a lot of stuff, and the sadness was so deep that it really permeated everything for me. And I knew that I stepped into something, right? It's like I step into some deep healing because my goodness, it was so dark. And the thing that got me out of it was just being with the right people and receiving messages of comfort and support. That's the thing that really got me unstuck. Because when you fall into that spiraling down, it's very hard to dig yourself out. Usually, how we do it is with food, but because I'm doing a liver cleanse, I was like, okay, I don't have my to-go solution, my self-medication with food, eating, salty foods or eating dark chocolate or eating meat, red meat. Those things always, kick me into fighter mode, warrior mode. But I didn't have that option because I was doing the cleansing and I'm like, okay, I have to deal with these emotions. And these were like real deep existential questions that I was like, I don't know the answers to these. Like experientially, how do you deal with death? How do you deal with the temporality of life and know what am I supposed to do? What is my purpose here? Like what I can do differently. How can I make my life meaningful for me and for others? And all those questions are really hard questions because it's like saying, tell me the answer to what I don't know, but there's nobody there to answer it because the question is loaded with a lot of things that are unknown. That is part of that's where we always go, is like with these questions of, please God, show me what I'm supposed to do. And it really doesn't work like that. You have to build it yourself. You have to really sit down and decide for you. And for me, it's kind of hard because every path that I envision is being structured by my environment. I haven't been able to imagine a path, a sequence that hasn't been out there as a reference for me. Coming up with a innovative solution or an innovative path for me of what I want to experience, imagine, it's kind of hard. Oh, by the way, I'm gonna have to leave in 3 minutes. But I was doing that. I was really thinking, okay, how can I make my next, I'm 40, I'm gonna be 43, my next 7 years, how can I make them meaningful and something that I'm proud of? And I feel like I want to build so much that from my 50s to my 60s, I'm going to have like a really strong foundation, right? And I am an ambitious person. I like to do many things. I'm not going to lie. And it gets hard because usually you get a lot of progress when you're focusing on only one thing. But when you're dispersed into 5 different things, how do you get that traction? My hope is that AI is gonna allow me to do that. It's going to help me to get there. But to be honest, yeah, I cannot give you the answers. You need to give the answers. You're the one that needs to decide what do you want to do. And it's hard because there are things that from the outside, they look so much fun. But then when you try to implement them in your life, it's like, oh my God, there's so much work involved into just one aspect of this one thing that I want to do. Imagine trying to handle five. And all of them are attractive to me. I'm not gonna lie. All of them are very exciting. And it's hard for me to close the door to one of those and say, I won't do this. It's really hard. Art on its own should take almost all my time, right? But then I'm like, when I picture myself throughout the day as, okay, art, let's do only art. There's so many aspects to art that I don't like, that I do not enjoy. While other things that I want to do, they have so many aspects that I do enjoy, but it's walking away from my art again. So it's a hard decision because I would be doing things that I really enjoy, doing these other activities. It would be loaded with a lot of fun stuff. And art is like, how can I make art as enjoyable as these other activities? And it's kind of hard to get it there because the way we sell art in the world is not fun. And I'm like, maybe there's a way for me to turn art selling into something enjoyable. Here's my alarm. So I need to ponder before the 20th what is that I want to be doing, making for my new life, my next 7 years. Because yeah, Aries is getting Saturn now. We're getting Saturn, so it's going to be a lot of things driving us and pushing us. I gotta go because I have to teach the Pee Wee class because Master Maria from the American School of Martial Arts in Wake Forest, she gets sick and she won't be able to teach today, so I'm the replacement teacher for the Pee Wees. That's going to be interesting, and then I have to drive my son back here, and then I have to decide if I still have energy to do my Kung Fu and my Qigong class. Well, Tai Chi Qigong, sorry. Under Master Bear. And I need to see if I have the juice for that. Literally the juice because I'm doing the class, so I'm drinking juices. Anyway, today's gonna be interesting. I'm feeling better overall, mentally, emotionally. I'm feeling better. A little stressed out here and there with the imposter syndrome. And fear of rejection and abandonment, I guess. But you take the challenge and you grow from it. So today, this week, I'm going to start feeling better and thinking on, okay, what are we doing here? Like, I need to study this. And yeah, I'm just keeping myself exposed to this AI stuff because once you really learn it and you understand how it operates, it opens so many doors to your life. It can take care of so many things and it helps you to become a better leader, a better business person, and a better artist, and a better anything. But you need to understand how the tool works. And so far, we haven't really understand it. And that's why people get disappointed with AI. It's like they try something and then the AI spits some product. And you're like, oh my God, this is garbage. Why are people so excited about it? Well, because we need to learn how to use it. And that's what I've been doing since the past 6 months. And I'm so glad I took on that because it really is a game changer. It's a steep curve, a learning curve. But I guess that in 3 years, I'm really going to grasp it. And it's like anything in life. You need to upgrade your skills. So there's no way around it. And I've been doing a lot of growing. I think I need to start implementing in a perfect for sure. So anyway, thank you for being here and say hello next time. Oh, by the way, tomorrow same time, EST time, here in beautiful Rolesville, 3 p.m. in my art studio. So you can see what I'm working on, and you can ask questions. You can ask for specific music that I want to listen to, or just take the opportunity to hang out and do something with your time, or even if you're working, enjoy the music and have somebody doing something that's very calming. Have me as a background screen that, oh, I want to be in the studio with her, something like that. Just make your life more enjoyable. I will see you tomorrow. Bye.